Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Bite-Sized Branding live show late on a Friday. I feel like, oh, there's a client calling. Whoops. I will tell her that I will call her back. I'm currently in a meeting, and I have clearly forgotten to put my phone on airplane mode. There we go. Man, that's the great thing about being live, right? It's always entertaining. I can't remember where I was in my introduction. I think this week has been a solid week. I'm hearing from a lot of people, very busy. Everything's going a bit haywire, a bit crazy. But those weeks keep it exciting. They keep us motivated as business owners. They keep us on our toes. And we thought for today's show, we've had a raft of great guests, and it's just back to the A team, as I wrote as the show title. Grant and myself, the originators. We thought we'd just kind of break down a bit more about the show, delve into some of the stuff that we've experienced over the last, how many shows is it now? This is a 49th show, so 49 shows that we've done. It's pretty cool. And just, have a bit of a jam session, as Grant put it just before we went live. As always, Grant, thank you very much for joining me on the show. And as always, I'm going to kick it to you to break down the format. Grant, take it away, man.
Well, Bernard, once again, so great to see you, so great to connect with you, so great to talk about our favorite subject. My name is Grant Tom, and I'm a head fire starter. And the reason I'm called a head fire starter is that I love ideas. I love igniting ideas, and I love getting businesses to grow and boom with these ideas. Naturally, not all ideas are easy. And that's what we come onto the show about, as we talk about branding and marketing within a traditional and digital space that is moving. A lot of the guests that we brought onto the show have really come with some great knowledge and expertise, and we're just going to unbundle that a little bit today. We're going to make everyone part of our brainstorm session, and we're just going to jam a little bit about bite-sized branding. So from my point of view, I look forward to, we're going to still give ourselves the clock of 5 minutes and less, where we've got to unbundle these subjects. So we've got to stay in training mode. But at the same time, we're going to really just have a jabber about what we're doing, where we're going, and what we're all about.
Yeah, so to kick off that first topic, what I'm going to do when we're ready, I'll kick off the timer, but we're going to break down a bit more about what the show, how it all manifested, why we brought it all together, and a bit more about the format itself, and that will give that meaty background to what bite-sized branding is all about. You ready to go, Grant?
I am ready to go.
Let me see if I can hit this timer. Nope, missed it. Not on a Friday. There it is.
Right, should I get going?
Yes, go ahead. Take it away.
We started bite-sized branding with the view to be a show with a difference. Marketing is such a varied subject. There are books and books and books about marketing. And there are people, as many guests as we possibly can think of, that have got a different point of view and a different expertise that bring to the show. And because every business sits with a Rubik's Cube of a challenge in the sense of how they're going to overcome their challenges with the view to sell their products, to break financial goals, is ultimately what the show was about, in the sense that bite-sized branding is about taking a subject and really just trying to pull it apart with a view of getting understanding. And the reason we put the clock, for one reason, is that we just don't go long. We stay to time and handle the subject and interrupt each other a lot.
Yeah. And I think one of the really important things that kind of provoked this format, originally we were doing pre-recorded and we would break down the videos. We wanted to bring the information harder, faster, less filtered, more real, with the real defining thing behind that was clarity. There are so many different things at play when you're looking at your branding, your marketing, your web, digital advertising versus traditional, above the line, below the line, blah, 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 blah. So many acronyms and language. I was on a call yesterday with my business partner, John, and the guy we were on a call with, who will be a guest in a couple of weeks, happened to also have a military background, just like John. And all of a sudden, there's all these 3-letter,
acronyms
just flying around. And I'm like, I have no idea what these two guys are talking about. And I think that's how most people look at this brand and marketing space. And there's such a differentiation, which I don't think a lot of people understand, between the creative process it takes to create a website versus and develop a website versus the creative process behind branding and a logo, and then the story that that branding tells, then content, then email marketing versus ad marketing versus each one of these have nuances which are particular to the space. And most people just go, oh, we need someone to do marketing. And they pick up somebody who has marketing in their title, or I need a graphic designer. They pick up the graphic designer. And what they don't do is intertwine these different functions, which are different functions. You can't get a graphic designer who's going to be an expert at marketing. You can't get a marketer who's going to build you a website. You can't get a website dev who's going to design you a logo. Like, they're just not the same function and not the same part of the brain. You're talking about like rational, like kind of more code-based, languages.
I think the one thing is that these guys who designed these platforms that we now have to work on, Facebook, Google, Instagram, they didn't really design it with the customer in mind. They designed it for a totally different purpose. The fact that it's now it's adjusted to a business market is ultimately where business owners are struggling to understand what that is all about. I had a discussion many years ago with Gary Vee, who mentioned that, it's the older guys that got the business acumen, but they lack the tech. And it's the younger guys that got the tech mind, but they lack the business acumen. And at the end of the day, in theory, it's the business acumen that's going to win, because you only need 10% more of your brain to understand how to use the device and the technology, where the youngsters who understand the device and the technology have to have 40 years of business acumen. So we've got a little bit of a long way to go.
Yeah, but I think there's a real respect for both channels. That business knowledge is so necessary. It's quintessential to running a business, and so many businesses still function without even having a big footprint in the digital space. But that knowledge, once it's inserted into your business, leverages what you've created, leverages that story, leverages that brand, leverages that culture that you've created to a whole nother platform. So when it's done right, it can really take your business to that next level. And I think that's what this is all about.
But what it evolved into is that we now are attuned to brand storytelling. And this is what was always around, but it's now on the best format ever before, in the sense that technology allows you to tell multiple stories that get people interested, because it's not about selling anymore. It's edutainment, as I always say.
I thought you were going to say it's not about selling, it's about telling. Oh, that was good.
And how fast 5 minutes goes.
Right. That was great. I think it's we never really put it out on the table like that, just said exactly what this is all about. And it's a bit of confetti of channels and options and creative and directions and all that you could mix in any different combination for your business or for your brand. And that's what this show is all about. It's about filtering that with the insights of professionals and experts that come in and say, hey, maybe this is the right channel for you, or maybe this is the right channel, and this is the right time to get into this, and this is the right time to get into that. And that's what we're all about. And that's the thing, even with Lucidity, our own brand, the key to our business and our brand is pointing the right direction. Sure. We're agnostic. We don't care if you want to do ads, or you want to do this, or you want to do that. We're going to look at your business and say, this is where your budget is best invested to get the return in your business. And I think that's what is important for both our industry and important for the customers that interact with the designer or the marketer or the web developer,
Very much so. I think that it's in a very overwhelming world, but at the same time, hopefully through conversation and repeat of terminology and outcomes, we will get a few people to understand that it doesn't have to be a scary world. It's an inevitable world. We just have to step through it.
Look, I'll throw another one in there. Look, I guess also don't get caught up with a fad. If everyone's saying you should be doing this, you should be doing this, you should be doing this, it doesn't necessarily mean it's right for you. Just because everybody's wearing platform shoes doesn't mean you should also wear platform shoes. They might just not work for you, So it's about finding what's going to work for your business and give you the cut through, which I think people always forget. Forget about what everyone else is doing. Think about what's going to cut straight to the kind of customers you want to be talking to. Get
Well,
the
understand your customer. Understand
Yeah.
what your customer wants and how they like to receive it. There's an old myth, give people what they want. Don't give them what you think they want.
They
And
want,
that
yeah,
is very
right.
key.
Yeah, awesome. Before we ramble on for even longer, completely abusing the time limit, and we don't even have a guest. That's why we can't be stopped. We cut off the guest. No one cuts us off. I'll jump to the next question. Insights we've gotten from guests. So we'll cover off a couple of ideas, some things that have really stuck with us, and talk about the guests that we've had on and the value that they've imparted that has stuck with us. Ready to go?
I am ready to go.
I'm going to give this another shot. Let me see. I think it's here. Oh, no.
You cheated the time.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey. Doing it
Okay.
blind. Look, I think the one that comes to mind first off, and I absolutely love this presentation, like this opportunity to talk to this person, were the insights with Denver. Denver, who has that marketing experience coming into established bigger brands. He works with, I think it's Shop Direct, and assisted them with coming online and building that online presence and continuing to foster that digital space. I think his insights were so invaluable. He talked about the blend between traditional and digital, and how to bring them kind of in harmony rather than throwing the baby out with the bathwater, which is often what you see with brands who are kind of stuck in a rut and feel like they're going around in a circle. They're like, we need to do something new. Let's just stop doing this channel and jump on digital, because digital's where it's at. It's not necessarily where it's at. It's about understanding, again, where are your customers? What channels are they looking at you? What channels are you able to talk to them directly on? And then building a campaign or building a strategy around that. I think marketing is always multidisciplinary, and it should always be looked at that way, How about yourself? What's one that sticks with you?
Look, I think that it's just every time I'm just blown away by the time we have a guest who comes with their level of expertise and the niche that they do. And as much as I have understanding as to what they're telling me, I also am blown away by the level that they have to go to get their job done.
Yes.
And from selling a business to that of sales team to that of PR, there are these little inside tricks that money can't buy. You need an expert to get in and be able to do these things for you. Naturally, you can try your own hand at it, but will you be successful? And sometimes that is where businesses are won and lost in the sense of who and what they do. I think businesses have one goal, and that is to achieve financial success year on year, because that's all that accountants are after, is the measurable factor of your growth rather than the sustainability of how you pay your invoices.
I think it's very interesting, one thing that you said there, and I don't know if anyone else picked up on this, but the level of effort they have to go to build out their service, right? And yes, there are service providers. There are individuals in every industry, in every role, in every business that don't pull their weight. So it's not the industry itself that's let you down. It is the individual that has fulfilled that role, or the team that has fulfilled that role. Now, if you can put that aside and look specifically at what you're trying to achieve, there is a lot of work that's put in by real marketers, by real PR guys, by real consultants that come into your business, and with that core focus that aligns with yours, which is, what are your goals? What are your KPIs? Let's get you there. And if you're bringing on people like that focus on your KPIs, that are KPI driven, then it's going to be successful. But if you only half set them up for success, they'll only be able to deliver half or less, But if you set them up for success, get them to be part of the team, part of the business, collaborate, integrate, you're gonna find that you will all uplift each other into a much more successful delivery and a much more tangible goal.
I think, once again, like we said on the previous show, it comes down to understanding your customer. Who are they? Where are they? And how do they like to receive information about you? Once you understand that, then you know which partners you need to be finding in order to collaborate with you, with the help to create leverage, opportunity, awareness, call to action. Because those are the things that finally create engagement that sales are made out of. I think that I was just blown away that the guests that have come on have had a world of knowledge, and the amount of guests that still to come onto the show, and what they've got to share is where I think we've got an incredible platform to just keep on elevating and taking things to the next level, because at the end of the day, we are growing every single time a guest comes onto the show.
Yeah, and look, for everyone that's watching or going to be watching this show, we definitely want to do some more four people shows. We love what happened in that PR show. It was great to get the nuances of the different perspectives. So we're definitely going to be bringing that value to the table. We have a cyber digital conversation coming up that's going to have John, my business partner, and another partner that we've recently started discussion with. That's going to be coming up in a couple of weeks. So keep your eyes out for that show. That one's going to be a real fun one.
Here's a funny question that I was asked the other day. I was asked, why don't we allow for more time?
More than 5 minutes?
More than 5 minutes.
I don't know if anyone's noticed, but if you add up, like even when it's 7 minutes, add up 7 plus 7 plus 7, add a little bit of leeway time, like 1 minute, and it still doesn't equal 45 minutes. And our shows average at 45 to 47 minutes. So if it wasn't for the timer, you would be here forever.
And that was exactly the answer that I gave, is that you don't know what you're asking for to having a longer segment per show, because you're going to be here for a very long time. The whole point is to get to the point and move off the point, because otherwise you won't shut us up.
Guys, happy to do it. If you really want to put in the time and the effort, mate, follow along, comment, write it in. If you guys write it, if we get like a huge demand for a longer show, number one, I'll be very surprised. Number two, Grant, I don't know how we're going to handle it. Where are we going to find the extra time in our week? Number three, we will do it. We will do it. And then I'll love to hear your feedback on that show. But if we get enough hype, we get enough people begging, like, do a longer show, then we will do it. And you will see how enjoyable it is. But we are not adverse towards it. In fact, happy to talk as long as possible.
Look, time flies when we talk.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It goes so quickly. But I think that also means we can then distill a lot of really valuable information into a short amount of time.
Yeah.
That way you get the hits and the highlights straight away. We're not waffling on and blah, blah, blah. We're all about getting the best information in your hands as quickly as possible.
Great.
Yeah. So that's why the format, that's why the show, that's what we do. And we're really killing it today. I'm loving the locomotion that we've got going on and the conversation. I like that it's free flowing. Grant did say we're going to do a bit of a jam session today, so we're just going to throw some stuff at the wall and just chat through it. I thought it would be fun to do that as well. So here we are. The last subject we have, which is unfortunate, I feel like it's gone way too quickly today. But I think, you know what, we've got too used to having a guest there. And now that there's no guest, we're super comfortable. So we're just like, bang, 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 knocking it all out, man, ready to go. So the last thing we have, we want to talk about putting on live events. Live events, we still got some lockdowns here. When are we going to come back to being face-to-face? And I wanted to broaden that question as well to kind of encompass our event too. This event itself, and maybe give some people some background on how we put this all together for a live show. For those businesses that are either struggling and need an outlet, or those businesses that are looking for another channel where they can put their ideas on the map. Let's talk a little bit more about putting together a show like this and what this show could potentially lead into, which is a bit of what we've been constructing as well. Ready to rumble?
Let's get going.
I threw a curveball as well, by the way. Grant didn't know that was going to be the question. I just threw it in there. No, I can't get it. No, it's not going to happen. Not this Friday. There we go. Look at that, old school. Look at the screen.
So
I need to just read my mind at some point. That would be better. There we go.
Originally, we were going to start a live show event before we went on to the live show.
Like a face-to-face event.
A face event.
Yeah.
But then COVID came along that sort of disrupted life a little bit. And then we said, not a problem, we'll pivot and we'll take it on air. Mm-hmm. And it's been a great learning curve to be on air. It really has. We have really got to learn how to hone in our skill to be able to communicate on the subject that we love. But at the end of the day, one of the things that we miss is to be able to sit in front of people and be able to engage with people. And one of the things that we intend to do with the show is to take this show to the people. So we are planning to put some events together in some key locations where we're going to be inviting guests to be sitting in on the show, where we're going to be discussing questions. But at the same time, we have that live event with live guests is sort of the next level that we're going to pick it up. So tell me what excites you about a live event, Bernard.
You know what is suddenly coming to mind? I'm thinking, why couldn't we do the format just like this show?
It's going to be exactly like the show.
Stream it live, bring the guest face to face with us, put a panel, talk it out. Man, I'm loving this idea. I think it's going to be phenomenal. I think what's big about what we want to create within a live event, which we want to try and manifest with this live show as well, is we want to be able to have conversations with people.
Yeah.
We want people to just, what we want to do within our presentation format is keep it short for the bits where we talk. You know, we might do 20 minutes, we might do half an hour, and then we're going to throw it out to the audience. Come with your questions, come with your thoughts, come with your misnomers and or your wants for understanding, and we're going to just unbundle them right in front of your eyes. We want to be able to give back the knowledge, because there's no point in us telling you what we think you should want to know. We want you to learn and digest the kind of information that you can walk away with and apply or share with the people that are around you. And I think that's what's key to it. And we always do at the end of the show, we try to embrace everyone and say, please comment, please like, please follow. And there's a reason around that. We don't want you to comment to say, hey, good job, guys, just for us to get more traffic. We want you to comment to say, hey, but what about this? Or, hey, I'd love to learn more about this. Or, hey, I was talking to this person the other day. I'd love if you unbundled some knowledge on your next show. And that's what it's all about for us. For us, it's all about knowledge share. We do this show for knowledge share. So, and that's what we want to create, whether it's here in this live format, which we'll continue to do for who knows how long as we keep enjoying it, and as long as everyone else keeps enjoying it.
And I think one of the things that's important is that we also want to find exciting venues with the view that it's in a brand space, that we're going to make the brand host part of the show. And we want to make sure that there's some prizes, there's some giveaways, there's some interaction, there's some partnerships, because that's what it's about. It's about starting a movement. It's about engaging in opportunity. It's about discussing where the future of the tomorrow market is all about. And that's where it comes together when you in our space, in the sense of bite-sized brand.
Yeah, I think it's, keep an eye out as things start to come back together again, where Grant and I will finally get to be in the same room again. And we're going to look at putting together some events. And we're going to put them in spaces you probably never thought that an event like this would be hosted. And the reason is, just like Grant said, we want to create associations, reflections of these partners within the content that we're delivering. Because there are some brands out there that are doing this every single day, that are delivering phenomenal brand stories, phenomenal content, and have created a following within their market that is like a community, and that we want to highlight. We want to bring that to the forefront. So I think when you're even thinking of your own events and the next event you plan, rather than just picking, that shared office space down the street from you or somewhere that's convenient to get to, think about what's going to tell your story through the space that you've selected. Correct. It's part of that whole brand,
Yeah, very much so. And I think it's about getting that brand engagement taking place. So yeah, we're on the hunt, and of course, don't forget. I know we're going to close off the segment now, but if you'd like to be a guest on our show, just let us know. We want to talk about your brand, what you do, and how you add value to everyone.
100%. I think that is quintessential to this show. It is one of the. I think when we end the show, Grant and I end the show with a phenomenal guest, like all our guests have been. We just sit back after that show and we just go, damn, that was brilliant. That was phenomenal. Did you hear that? Oh, I didn't even think of it. Sometimes it's not even that they're telling us something new. It's that they're saying it in a different way that we never thought to phrase it. And we're like, whoa, that just hit the nail on the head. So we're so passionate about our guests, even more so than our show. And I think the next, like, we just want to keep bringing more and more of these insightful, deep knowledge people within industry and highlight them on the show, and give them a chance to share their knowledge with everyone. Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the things is that every time we've had a guest, we've learned so much about ourselves, so much about the show, and so much about the guest, that every time we sit there and we say, we learned something, next time we're going to make it better. And that's been one of the most motivating factors. I find it fascinating that 2 weeks goes by so quickly. I find it fascinating that 5 minutes goes by so quickly. And I find it fascinating that 3 shows in one big show goes by so quickly, because we've come to the end of the show, Bernard.
Yep, I know. This one is like lightning fast. I feel like we just started. But yes, that was our 3 topics. It was a little bit of a throwback day today. The jam session. I think that'll be the official title. I wonder if I can go and edit it everywhere. Just change it to the jam session. But I hope everyone who's chimed in or whoever watches this later walks away with a little bit of information. Also walks away with a bit more of a connection to why we've put this together and what we're trying to achieve through this show. It's true, we've never really shared it in depth, and hopefully that's come across and been conveyed in today's show. As always, I'll end it the way I always end it. As always, please like, comment, share, ask questions. That's what we're all about. We want to be challenged. We want to hear your insights, your knowledge. And we want to share that with people. You comment, we will mention you in the show. How's that? We'll tag you in the show as well. And we'll do a shout out. Well, thank you very much for sending that through. And if you know anyone, if you cross people's paths in your day-to-day life, they give you some insight about the marketing, the branding space, online, digital, even if they're not marketers themselves, even better, because they've adapted that knowledge through experience, something that has come through their path. So we are always looking to embrace new guests and diverse guests as well. One great thing about our last show was bringing the 2 different guests from the same industry into the room. And the show that we have coming up with John and the new partner that we have, same thing, Avon is his name. We're going to have that same kind of juxtaposition, those 2 different perspectives. It just builds a lot more depth in the knowledge that we can share. So like, comment, share, provide possible guests opportunities. We have some great people planned to come on the show in the next coming weeks. Next show is 50, our 50th show.
That's incredible. 50 shows.
We should do something. Maybe funny hats. Everyone gets a funny hat.
Okay.
Funny hat. I think so. Perhaps we'll even mail out the funny hat. Let me investigate the options here. But yes, funny hat Friday. That works.
Funny Hat Friday. Here we go.
So everyone who's jumped on or is watching the show in the future, thank you very much for joining us as always. Grant, I'll kick it back to you to round up the show, and happy Fridays.
Look, guys, once again, thanks so much for the support. Thanks for the insight, the feedback. Once again, the likes and the shares. We thoroughly love it. We love the opportunity to be able to talk with you as well. So don't be afraid to want to come onto the show. It's not as scary as it looks. And of course, Bernard and I make it a lot of fun as well in the background, so that you just come on and talk about what you do best. But until next time, in 2 weeks' time, we look forward to seeing you on the first Friday of next month, where we're going to bring you another fantastic show and once again, another guest.
Thank you very much, everyone, for jumping on. And it is true, we do see your comments instantly when you comment on any of the platforms that this is streaming. So we can bring your questions straight into the show as we're having the show. So jump on, type away. We're right here to hear your questions. Till next time, have a great Friday, and we'll catch you then.